Hey guys, Matt Noonan for Wheaton College Athletics, sitting next to Coach Podbelski of the baseball team. Coach, welcome back. It's 20 degrees outside today. I don't know if this is baseball weather. We had 50 degrees on Saturday. I try to keep the thermostat up a little bit, but try to do the best I can. But hopefully the cold weather is not scaring you away, though, from the baseball season.
No. It is kind of funny. You go down, you play 10 games in 9 days, and you've got beautiful temperatures, 75 to 80, and then, you get off the plane last night, and it's just like a dose of reality. But it's every year. It's the same thing. We've come back to worse. We've come back to 6 inches of snow on the field in the past. So, we're just happy the field's cleared, and that hopefully by the end of the week we'll be able to play as scheduled.
Well, Coach, let's talk about the Florida trip. 7-3 on the trip down to Florida. Talk about maybe some things that you took away from the trip that you guys hope to, as a team, hope to build on. Some things that you'd like to kind of work on and practice this week, and going into your first game up here again in New England. Obviously, again with the cold weather.
Yeah. Well, I think the guys prepared really well indoors, and we got off to a good start, and I think overall had a good trip. We played a good schedule and went 7-3. And a lot of positive signs, certainly. And as you mentioned, things that you got to work on. But that's the same every year. Every year you're going to come back, and 10 games into a baseball season is not necessarily who you are. And I think myself and the guys all realize that we can all get better, and that's what the length of the season is about. There's no one thing I could point to that this was great, this wasn't so great. We had flashes of good and some flashes of needs improvement in any area, and it's pretty much the same as it's always been. But I just I guess what I took away is that our team shows a real resiliency to them. I think is developing some mental toughness, won some tight, tough games against some good teams, and then when we didn't do as well, never wavered, just kept playing hard, and showed up the next day refreshed and ready to go compete again, never got down on themselves. And that's a good sign, and that'll serve us well.
Was there one game in particular that you felt like, again, as you mentioned, yes, 10 games kind of hard to kind of, especially with baseball, there's so many games, but was there one game in particular, though, that you felt, okay, maybe this is starting to show signs of what kind of team we're going to be and maybe where we're headed? Or is it too early to kind of tell again after maybe, I don't know if there was just 1 or 2 games that down on the trip?
I look at it more as a whole, honestly. I don't think one game in baseball defines a whole lot, because you're never as good as you look on your great day. You're never as bad as you look on your worst day. And, I think, again, what I took is what I said, that this team has got some resiliency, and they've got a great attitude, and they enjoy playing with each other. They're a bunch of team guys, and have worked very hard, and are very determined to be what they want to be by the end of the year. And, found a way to win. Again, like I said, a lot of tough games against good teams. A lot of those scores could have gone either way, but our guys found a way to kind of come out on top. But again, when we stumbled, came back the next day with a great attitude, and kind of turned the page and gave it our best again.
Let's talk about some of the newcomers to your squad, the freshmen. Every year, of course, as you talked about, just the determination. I've had a chance, obviously, to get to know some of the guys, too, the sophomores, juniors, and seniors, and how they've kind of pulled along the guys through practices. And again, here they are, first trip down to Florida. A little bit of a different, I'm sure, for some of them, especially around here. Not many of them, for the local kids, are going to go down to Florida. They're going to go jump right into high school play around here. But just kind of talk about maybe what you saw out of the freshmen, either with some pitchers, fielders, hitters, what you saw.
Yeah, I just don't like to talk, I'd rather talk about them as a group. With freshmen, you are going to, it's very predictable. You're going to have, the class of guys as a whole are good players, and they all, some are going to be ready a little sooner than others, and some, it's just a matter of opportunity. Some other guys who might be very good players down the road, might have an upperclassman who's more experienced in front of them right now, and have just got to bide their time, keep working. They all have things to work on. None of them are where they want to be. But the kids who did get an opportunity to contribute and play down there showed some really good signs and had some really good moments, but also, at times maybe showed the inexperience as well, which is completely normal and predictable. But we're certainly happy with the freshman class. feel it's a good recruiting class and feel it's a class that will grow together and continue to get better, just as all the classes before them have.
Let's also talk maybe about some of the sticking with the grounded group mentality, the senior leadership too. Here's a group that's been on the team, has been played in the regionals, has won some NUMAC championships, had an experience of tasting the World Series 2 years ago too. Can you just talk about maybe just again similar to the freshmen, but just this group and what do they bring to the team and the determination that you're talking about that they've displayed, whether it was on the Florida trip thus far or as well as obviously in preseason practices?
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't be more proud of our seniors to this point in the year, because the things that we just talked about, that's a reflection of them. They're the pulse of the team. If they were the type of group to get discouraged, to get down, or to be front runners when things aren't going well, that would filter down. But instead, they're the opposite. They work hard, they lead by example, and and this goes for the guy, whether they're, playing every day or not, they are completely about Wheaton College baseball accomplishing the goals that we set out to accomplish, however that may be. And they project it really, really well down to their younger teammates, and that's a big part of, of our attitude and our identity, is comes from them.
Let's switch gears here, talking a little bit about the schedule here, Coach. And again, we'll talk about you can talk about the NUMAC if you'd like, but also just similar to other years, again, playing teams from the Little East, the MASCAC, NESCAC team, obviously teams from up north too. Just kind of talk about maybe some of your non-conference slate, how that's going to help you, and then if you can also talk about going into NUMAC play, because before we know it, NUMAC play will be starting soon.
Right. Well, what we try to play teams that that are gonna, if we don't play well, it's gonna show, and that's how you learn. And so whether you win, whether you lose, you're playing against good competition, and you're going to see good pitching, and your pitchers are going to see good hitters, and they're not going to generally give you games. You're going to have to go out and earn them. And if you show up one day not at your best, probably going to get beat. And so there's nowhere to hide when you play a good schedule. There's nowhere to hide. But the whole idea is that guys are going to be on their toes. They're going to continue to be determined to get better, because things aren't always going to be perfect and things aren't always going to go the way we want them to go. And then hopefully when we get into NUMAC play and start seeing teams' best pitching, because when you play conference games, you're going to see their number one, their number two, their number three. So whether that team is up among the top of the conference or whether they're down at the bottom, you're still seeing their best pitching. Okay, and so when you play good teams out of conference, it becomes something that it's just another day and another good pitcher, rather than we're facing this guy today. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's what we hope to build. And obviously everything is geared toward doing well in conference, and hopefully winning the conference to give yourself a chance to continue into postseason play.
And kind of sticking with the conference theme here, one of the things I want to talk about is just, it seems, every year you're able to keep these guys focused. Every year is a new year. Every year is different. But the product, it just seems like you're able to somehow win the NUMAC, and it's a very competitive conference. You mentioned here too. You're going to get the guys, the 1, 2s, and the 3s. You're going to get good hitting, good fielding, good pitching, all that. How do you keep the guys though in line? Again, just kind of focus and say, okay, last year was last year. Let's turn the page. Let's focus on this year.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's more to do with the guys, and it's more to do with what they want and what they know. Again, having the seniors and the juniors, the guys that have been here for a couple years, and the classes of seniors prior to them had experienced some success maybe when they were younger in the program. And so when they get to leadership positions within our group, they know what it takes, and they know the work that goes into it. And at the Division III level, there's a lot that they have to do, and it's not me. They are running some, practices with just the players in the non-traditional season. And in the off season, they're doing their weight training and their conditioning and strength and conditioning on them. Coaches can't be there. So a lot of that has to do with, and how they approach that says a lot to their younger teammates about what's needed. And that's where I think the focus and the consistency comes from, is from the senior classes who have experienced success, and when they get to be seniors and it's their last go-around, they want something and they're able to impart that to their younger teammates. I think it comes more from them than it does from me. I'm just happy that we've had the kind of players that we've had, the kind of kids that we've had, because that's what makes this program go.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for the time. Great to finally meet you, and obviously best of luck the rest of the way. And I'll keep some fingers crossed for warmer temperatures for your first couple of games up here. That sounds good. Coach Podbelski, myself is Matt Noonan. For more on the baseball team, head on over to athletics.wheatoncollege.edu.